Before we get into this, because this story just escalated again, make sure you're subscribed. This Beckham feud is moving fast, and what's just happened could change how this family breakup is seen forever. Because now, it's no longer just Brooklyn's word against his parents. A wedding guest has spoken out, and they're backing up one of the most explosive claims Brooklyn has ever made. The claim that has shocked fans, split opinion down the middle, and turned a private family rupture into a global spectacle, that Victoria Beckham danced inappropriately with her own son at his wedding. Let's slow this down, because this moment matters. This is the first time a third party, someone who says they were actually there, has stepped forward to confirm any part of Brooklyn's extraordinary 6-page statement. And it comes at the worst possible moment for David and Victoria. Let's rewind to what Brooklyn said. Earlier this week, Brooklyn Beckham went public in a way no one expected. A 6-page statement, posted online. No lawyers, no PR smoothing, just raw accusations. In it, he accused his parents, David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, of control, manipulation, and valuing Brand Beckham above family. But the line that made jaws hit the floor? Brooklyn said his mom hijacked his first dance at his wedding, that she danced very inappropriately on him in front of hundreds of guests, leaving him humiliated. At the time, many people dismissed it. Too extreme, too emotional, too unbelievable, until now, because a wedding guest has spoken, and not just any guest. Stavros Agapio, partner of DJ Fat Tony, who performed at the reception, publicly commented online saying, "I was there, and she did. He's telling the truth." Let that sink in. Someone who says they were physically present, not a source, not anonymous, not secondhand. I was there. That comment has since been deleted, but not before it was seen, shared, screenshotted, and replaced with a second message. Good on him for finally speaking out. That alone has poured petrol on an already raging fire. Because suddenly, this isn't just Brooklyn versus his parents. It's Brooklyn, plus witnesses. Now here's where this gets complicated. Because Brooklyn's version of events directly contradicts the official account published by Vogue, which covered the wedding in detail back in 2022. According to Vogue, the newlyweds' first dance went exactly as planned. A romantic moment, set to Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love. No interruption. Vogue says the mother-son dance happened later, much later, after 11 p.m. They claim Brooklyn invited his mom on stage, that it was part of a broader family moment, joined by David and young Harper, two completely different stories. So now we're left with a stark choice. Either Vogue's account is incomplete, or Brooklyn is rewriting history, or something happened in that room that never made it into the glossy pages. And that's why this third-party witness matters so much, because it blows a hole in the idea that this is all exaggeration. But let's talk about context, because weddings don't exist in a vacuum. By the time Brooklyn married Nicola Peltz, tensions were already simmering. There had been whispers about control, about hierarchy, about who mattered more. At the reception, close family friend Mark Anthony gave a speech that reportedly focused heavily on Victoria. Not the bride, not the couple. Victoria. Sources have long claimed Nicola was furious, that she left the room in tears, that the moment became symbolic of a deeper issue. Brooklyn now says that moment, and the dance that followed, stayed with him, that it poisoned the memory of his wedding day. And that's why he and Nicola renewed their vows later, without his family present, not as a romantic gesture, but as a reset. Now let's be clear, even if you believe Brooklyn's account, even if you accept that something deeply uncomfortable happened, the scale of his response is what has stunned people, because he didn't just describe an incident. He accused his parents of years of manipulation, of trying to sabotage his marriage, of pressuring him to sign away rights to his own name, of weaponizing the media, of turning siblings against him, and he did it publicly. That's not a cry for reconciliation. That's a declaration of war. And here's where many people start to question who is driving this. Because while Brooklyn insists he's finally standing up for himself, others believe he's being led. That this language doesn't sound like him. That the tone is too sharp, too legalistic, too rehearsed, and that the fingerprints of Nicola Peltz are all over it. Not necessarily because she's malicious, but because she comes from a very different world. A world where boundaries are firm, where family loyalty is defined differently, where cutting people off is seen as self-protection, not betrayal. Brooklyn grew up inside Brand Beckham, a global machine, where family and publicity were always intertwined. Nicola did not. And many believe Brooklyn, who has struggled to find his own identity, has latched onto the first environment that made him feel safe, even if that means burning bridges behind him. Meanwhile, look at David. Just hours after Brooklyn's post went live, David was in Davos, attending the World Economic Forum. A journalist asked him directly about his son. He didn't answer. He turned away. Later, in interviews about social media, regret, and parenting, he said, "Sometimes you have to let your children make mistakes." If that's not the sound of a father swallowing heartbreak in public, I don't know what is. Victoria, meanwhile, has stayed silent. No post, no clapback, no defense, which, given Brooklyn's accusations, may be the loudest response of all. So where does this leave us? With a family fracture that now feels permanent. With a son who says he's found peace, but only by cutting off his past. With parents watching their firstborn rewrite their family history in real time. And with a wedding moment, one dance, now becoming the symbol of everything that went wrong. The tragedy here isn't who danced with who. It's that something that should have been joyous has become evidence in a public trial. And once that happens, there is no easy way back. This story isn't over, not even close. The real question is whether Brooklyn is willing to meet them halfway, or whether he'll continue to sit out milestones, celebrations, and memories he'll never get back. Because time doesn't pause for family feuds. Parents get older. Siblings grow apart. Moments pass. And at some point, absence becomes a choice you can't undo. If you've been watching this story unfold and you think Brooklyn needs to take responsibility before it's too late, let me know in the comments. And if you want continued updates on the Beckham family and the truth behind celebrity feuds like this, make sure you subscribe now.